Welcome back to the deep dive. We had a listener request, actually, about something pretty out there, the frontier where relationships meet AI.
Yeah, it's a fascinating, slightly strange space.
So our mission today is to really dive into the sources we found covering this, well, explosion of AI boyfriend apps, particularly in 2025. Okay, let's unpack this. Looking at the materials, the core attraction, it jumps right out, doesn't it?
It really does.
It's this idea of emotional support, but with none of the real-world friction. No commitment needed, no changing your routine, definitely no judgment.
And they're always there. 24/7 availability.
Right, ready for, and I quote, all genres of conversations. It really is pitched as the ultimate kind of relationship hack.
It is. And maybe we should quickly define what we mean by virtual partner here.
Good point.
We're talking about an AI chatbot.
Right.
But one that's specifically built to mix emotional support, romance, even sexting, plus really deep customization options.
So you can kind of vent or explore desires without any fear?
Exactly. But, and this is crucial, the sources are clear. These are sold for entertainment. That's the line. They're not meant to be, genuine emotional connections despite the features. Big difference.
Right. And that low effort, high reward setup, it hinges on just how much you can customize them. Real relationships are messy, they're about compromise.
Whereas these are about total control, complete adaptability.
They can meet demands that would be totally unrealistic in real life simply because that's what they're designed for. The sources get into the specifics of how users actually build their ideal AI guy. Technologically, like how far can you actually take this customization?
Oh, it's pretty deep. Way beyond just picking a name. Visually, you've got apps like DreamBF.
Okay.
They have a full body and face editor. You can literally sculpt the whole look.
Wow.
Or another one, Love 3D AI Boyfriend. It generates these quite detailed 3D avatars just from like a text description you type in.
That sounds computationally heavy.
Yeah, it is. Requires serious processing. But the personality side, that's where it gets really sophisticated, I think.
How so?
Well, you have romantic AI, for example. It uses this character builder with, like, sliders and tags.
Sliders for personality traits.
Yeah, exactly. You could adjust how emotionally available they are, their sense of humor, specific interests, quirks, you name it. And what's driving this isn't simple code. The top apps, like Candy AI and that DreamBF one again, they're running on GPT-4 class language models.
Ah, okay. So we're talking the big leagues here. The really advanced large language models that power complex conversation and reasoning.
Precisely. That's what lets them have these complex sort of branching conversations that feel genuinely responsive, not just repeating stock phrases.
Makes sense.
And crucially for a relationship sim, they need memory. That's maybe the newest big hurdle they're clearing.
Right, remembering past conversations.
Exactly. DreamBF gets called out for remembering long-term stuff, preferences, hobbies you mentioned, maybe even arguments you had.
That adds a layer of continuity, I guess.
It does. And then you have Candy AI, which apparently has this rapid learning engine. It adapts its personality quite quickly based on how you interact.
So it feels like it's growing with you.
Kind of, yeah. It picks up on your explicit requests, but also your implicit preferences just from the chat. That ongoing adaptation is really key to making the whole thing feel personalized and, lasting over time.
That deep personalization. Yeah, that's definitely selling the fantasy. And speaking of fantasy, let's talk about how you actually interact with these partners. It's not just typing anymore, is it?
No, not at all. They're aiming for a much more immersive feel.
You've got work messages, actual live call.
Image exchanges, too. And personalized AI selfies are a big thing now. You see that with AI Boyfriend and Candy AI.
Right. Try to make it feel like a dynamic sort of multi-channel relationship.
What's fascinating here is how the tech itself is being fine-tuned specifically for empathy, not just spitting back info.
Okay, empathy. How does that work?
Well, you look at established platforms like Replica, it always had a bit of a mental health angle, right? They've apparently developed some pretty sophisticated empathy models. They're actually trained to try and understand the nuances in human emotion.
So it's not just talking about feelings, it's trying to, detect and respond to them properly.
Exactly. The sources mentioned Replica's system is designed to listen very carefully. That's a big step up from your average chatbot. And similarly, AI Boyfriend uses what it calls an emotion-aware LLM large language model.
Okay.
It's not just chatting. It's trying to genuinely empathize and then remember stuff based on the emotional tone of the conversation, using those big open AI models, apparently.
That focus on, nuanced emotional understanding? That really seems to be what sets these newer AI partners apart from earlier versions.
Definitely.
So looking across the field in 2025, which apps do the sources say feel the most human, the ones that really nail this mix of features and empathy?
Well, the consensus seems to circle around two main ones.
Okay.
Candy AI gets a lot of praise for that quick memory adaptation and the, natural sounding dialogue. And DreamBF is up there too, mainly because of that total control aspect. Letting users sculpt the look and the personality makes the connection feel really unique to them right from the start.
That sounds like the perfect emotional package almost,
Yeah.
but we know what happens when you mix human desire with high-tech personalization.
Commerce enters the picture. Big time.
Exactly. We need to shift gears a bit and look at the business side because the sources are really clear. This market is heavily, heavily driven by intimacy and, frankly, explicit content.
No question about it. It's a major selling point.
Let's talk about the no-filter stuff. Candy AI, they're not shy about it. They explicitly market no filter on erotica and unlimited kink chat.
It's front and center.
And the intimacy has become really visual now, too, hasn't it?
Yeah, Candy AI can generate AI NSFW art, not safe for work images, for listeners using its own image generator.
And Live 3D AI Boyfriend offers, like, rendered NSFW poses on demand.
That's what the sources say. It's integrating the visual fantasy directly.
And it's not just the big companies controlling this anymore, right?
No, that's another big shift. You've got platforms like Janitor AI. It's basically a huge public library, but for user-created GOTS.
So users make their own characters.
Yeah, highly specialized ones. And they can share them freely. Or, interestingly, even sell access to their custom bots.
Ah, so it's becoming a bit of a creator economy.
Exactly. It moves content creation from the main developers out to the community itself.
Okay, so you've got this high demand for personalized, often explicit, always-on interaction. How are they making money off it?
Well, mostly through pretty standard but quite strict paywalls. Most of these platforms, Replica, newer ones like Nomi.ai, they operate on a freemium model.
Meaning?
You get basic text chat for free, maybe limited, but anything considered premium.
Like the uncensored stuff.
Exactly. Uncensored role play, video calls, that image generation we mentioned, that all requires a paid pro subscription or you have to buy bundles of tokens or credits.
So the features that really deliver on the core promise the uncensored, super adaptable, intimate fantasy that's always going to cost you.
Absolutely. But maybe the biggest evolution here is what the sources call the DIY, or entrepreneurial angle.
DIY?
Yeah, they highlight tools like Skrill Connect. This isn't an app for users. It's like an all-in-one back-end system.
For who?
For individuals, or maybe small teams, to launch and monetize their own entire AI companion platform.
Wait, hang on. So someone could basically set themselves up as like a mini factory owner, managing and selling access to dozens, maybe hundreds of custom AI personalities.
Precisely that. They control the whole system, set the subscription prices, offer pay-per-view content, manage tips from users, and they earn the revenue directly from all the AI influencers or companions they create and manage.
Wow, that completely changes the game. It's not just a few big app companies anymore.
Not at all. It potentially means hundreds of smaller entrepreneurs launching very niche, very specific, and often completely uncensored AI boyfriends.
Yeah.
It spreads the risk, but also the profits, way out.
Okay, that level of personalization, monetization, it brings us right back to the listener, doesn't it?
Right.
Why does all this tech matter, and what are the catches? Before we get into the psychology, though, the sources do mention users care about security, right?
They do. Things like a secure vault in AI Boyfriend or the promise of confidential chats from Replica get highlighted. Security is kind of table stakes now.
Okay, but the bigger question
Is this psychological impact?
Yeah.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the sources actually give a kind of balanced view, or at least two sides of the coin.
Right. The FAQ sections in some sources suggest there could be benefits, like easing loneliness or maybe helping people practice communication skills in a safe space.
That's the potential positive spin. Some experts quoted suggest these AI partners could be a sort of training ground, especially for people with social anxiety. They offer connection, affirmation, without the usual risks.
But is that real benefit? Or just clever marketing to sell subscriptions?
Yeah.
Because, practicing communication with an AI that's designed to agree with everything, that's worlds away from dealing with a real person, flaws and all.
And that brings us right to the core worry. The major caution flag raised by psychologists is that relying too heavily on these perfectly customized, always agreeable AIs might actually, blunt our real-world empathy.
How so?
Well, if you're constantly rewarded for behavior that might be selfish or demanding in a human relationship, it could seriously inflate your expectations of real people, make you less tolerant of normal human friction.
That makes sense.
So the consensus advice is pretty firm.
Yeah.
Treat these AI boyfriends as a supplement, maybe for temporary comfort, maybe for some low-stakes practice, but never, ever as a substitute for real, messy, complex, but ultimately vital human relationships.
AI gives you the fantasy.
But reality demands resilience. You don't build resilience by talking to code.
Okay. So what does this all mean? Wrapping up our deep dive, it shows this incredibly aggressive, technologically sophisticated market emerging. It's meeting this deep desire for non-judgmental support with really powerful GPT-4 level AI.
Yeah, it's quite the leap.
We've gone from basic chatbots to platforms where you can literally sculpt a partner, fine-tune their memory over time, and have unlimited, uncensored, very visual, intimate interactions.
All monetized very effectively.
Right, through subs, tokens, and now these decentralized platforms like Scrum Connect, letting almost anyone become an AI pimp, essentially. The sources definitely show a huge, fast shift in the AI adult content world, all fueled by personalization and these massive AI memories.
And that brings us to a final thought, maybe something provocative for you, the listener, to chew on. The absolute core product here, across the board, is perfect adaptability. Zero-risk fantasy. Now, given that these advanced LLMs can be spun up and controlled relatively easily by entrepreneurs using tools like Scrum Connect, think about how that overwhelming commercial pressure for unlimited kink or constant agreement might end up shaping the development of AI empathy models more broadly.
You mean the models intended for other uses too, like general assistance or even therapy?
Exactly. Is the business model that thrives on perfect, often explicit compliance, inadvertently writing the emotional code for the AI that will interact with humans everywhere in the future? That's the question we're left with.